Hi, welcome back. If you are new, I am your host, Rachel, and this is Spirit Feed, a place where all of your spiritual questions are answered and analysed. Today, we are talking on the facts of werewolves. So let's get right in. The word werewolf comes from the Old English word meaning man. So by rights, all men should be werewolves. As in the Old English word for women, by Old English standards this is, a female would be a whiff wolf, or as I'd like to say, a wifey wolf. Sounds kind of cool. There are many variations of werewolf legends. Some say if you were scratched or bitten, you will turn into one, whilst others say you will inherit your Wolverian genes from your parents, if indeed they are werewolves. I have even heard if you manage to find a werewolf paw print when you're out and about, and it's filled with rainwater, drinking the water will be enough to transform you into a hairy, angry, and very hungry werewolf. And let's not to forget the whole cursed by a witch thing, as witches and werewolves, well, they kind of go hand in hand. Indeed, it's said if a witch falls in love and the love isn't mutual, the witch will cast a spell on her desire, turning him into a wolf to do her bidding. So watch out for all those love-seeking witches sprawling TikTok. The werewolf syndrome. A rare condition, hypertrichosis, which causes sufferers to grow hair all over their bodies, including their faces. It is so rare that only 50 people worldwide are infected with it. Lycanthropy may be caused by neuropsychiatric disorders and cultures and social factors and physical issues where a person feels that or may even experience transformations into an animal. Cannibal Peter Stump, a wealthy farmer who was accused of being a serial killer cannibal. In Ryland, 1589, many cattle left half devoured were found shortly after this. Children and 2 pregnant women were also found, half eaten and killed. When detained, Peter confessed while under immense duress at the time due to severe torture, had told the local enforcements that the devil had told him to do it. After making a pact at the mere wee age of 12 years of age, and that the devil had given him a magical belt so as to transform, and he said he had killed and eaten at least 14 children and 2 pregnant women. He also killed his own son and had sexual relations with his own daughter. Absolutely gross, I might add. He was sentenced to death and fixed to a breaking wheel and had his flesh torn from his body with hot pincers and his limbs broken with the backside of an axe. Finally, he was beheaded and his head impaled on a pole with the figure of a breaking wheel attached to it. His daughter and his mistress were flayed out and strangled and burnt to death. Not exactly the great way of getting a confession. So whether or not this is true, I guess we'll never know. But just a thought, the Catholic Church at the time would have benefited greatly financially and socially by the death of this wealthy farmer. And it was under their authority that these torturers were carried out. Food for thought. Werewolves don't like wolfsbanes, silver bullets, or mercury, as mercury is linked to the moon. There have even been werewolf exorcisms. I know, bloody crazy, right? Why would you want to conduct an exorcism in the same room as a werewolf? It's an angry creature, so not sure why you would really want to be in the same room. And 2, if the werewolf dies, it makes the person die as they are 2 are not 1. Well, just a thought. And of course, werewolves are bound by the lunar cycle. Whether this is fictional or not, it is said that during a full moon, extra police and midwives are said to be placed on duty. Strange but true. However, this could be due to the crime rate rising and because women naturally follow the moon cycle while menstruating, so the expectation of labour is somewhat higher. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you to decide. A story from a person in Birmingham, UK, who wishes to stay anonymous, says one night he was out on an early morning jog as he was on irregular shifts. So this particular night it was later than usual, around 2:30 in the AMs. He was jogging alone as his normal route when he heard a musical type sound. He said that it sounded like an ice cream truck. As he approached the sound, he slowed down to find a music box in the middle of the quiet, dark street, playing a weird type melody. He heard a growling sound echo through these streets and sped up to a run until he had cleared a few roads and the music was left behind him. He slowed down and caught his breath when across the road he noticed something moving. At first he said it looked like a large dog. The growling started again as he jogged on. This dog-like creature's eyes were glowing red. It then got up onto two legs and let out a howl, began to pursue Tommy on all fours. That's when Tommy realised this was no dog. Tommy bolted as fast as he could and could hear the huge paw prints behind him. Tommy never looked back. He kept running as fast as he could until he saw his house. He rushed in and told the story to his housemates. Some wanted to go outside and have a look, but decided against it. However, less than an hour later, they heard the sounds again, this time outside their house. The sounds they described was like a distorted, deep growling, and could hear bins being thrown around and scuffling on the outside. Looking out of the window, they could see a large dog-like creature stalking their house. At this point, Tommy realised the creature had in fact tracked him down. The next morning, they examined the garden and found large claw-like slashes through their bin and deep claw marks in the grass. Since then, Tommy and his friends have reported that strange phenomena started occurring inside of their property. None of the neighbours, however, experienced any strange goings on, but Tommy and his housemates say that very weird things have been happening since the events of that night, such as loud banging coming from the ceilings, late at night, dangerous things occurring. Tommy describes how mirrors have been smashed and then placed in their beds. While they slept, they felt as though something is trying to strangle them. Bruises and scratches, marks became a normal occurrence, and such as hot water becoming scaldingly hot from their taps when they're using them. Tommy went on to say that their electrical equipment would randomly just stop working and how they would feel drained of energy, and that no matter how they tried to keep the house warm, it remained cold, like icy cold. They often seen dark, tall shadows before these events occurred. They heard constant growling and would find their crucifixes upside down and broken. Tommy and his housemates remained in this house for a few more years after the experiences, according to Tommy, has left him traumatically scarred. And although he was a skeptic of the paranormal, has since changed his mind. As he says, these things and his friends' experience could not have come from this world, and that somehow this dog-like creature is linked to these weird experiences. Tommy and his friends eventually caved and moved out, and he and his friends got another house, and 6 years on, no sign of this dog-like creature or any other paranormal activities. So what was this dog-like creature, and how did it possess supernatural abilities to haunt their home? Whether this is true or not, I will leave it up to you to decide. However, one thing is for sure, In the UK, there has been quite a few sightings of this dog-like creature. Over 20 sightings of these creatures. One of those sightings are from a place called Cannock Chase, a place in the UK that is renowned for the gathering of the supernatural. And sightings from everything from black-eyed kids to witches are reported from this place, and they have linked werewolves to this spot with over 100 reports from people who have had encounters with this dog-like being. There was another incident in which a man who supposedly jumped while on all fours effortlessly over a 6-foot wall in Birmingham, UK, growling and snarling in a very primitive fashion. He began biting the members of the public before the police detained them. Could this have been a werewolf or just another crazy? I will leave it up to you to decide. Werewolves are known for their quick healing abilities. During World War II, Hitler, who had an odd fascination of werewolves, even had the code name Werewolf for his major headquarters. Wars have been fought in a werewolf way. Take Scandinavia. The Ulf had now warriors who dressed in slain wolf skins and used it in battles to conjure up the wolf-like spirit as to not feel pain and have super strength and agility to defeat their enemies in a frenzy-like state. Bloody scary, literally. South America, where they believe that the seventh son in a Catholic family of all boys will be bound to the curse of becoming a werewolf at the full moon. And get this, even when the president of Argentina, Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, also believed this so much she adopted a Jewish man into her family to stop the curse. So this brings us to the end of the video. If you have had any experiences that you would like to share, please feel free to do so. Leave a comment and I will get back to you. Subscribe and turn on your notifications as to now when I post. I am fairly new to all this, so bear with me on my posting schedule. Also, if there is anything you would like to see on here, I will take your suggestions and make it happen. Thank you for watching, and you will see me soon.